race winner now, Connor Zilisch. Connor is now on the desk, I should say, and we will go ahead and go to questions. We will start with John Newby and then move to Jordan.
John Newby, Savage Ventures. So I asked Dale this a couple minutes ago. He said you're better prepared to answer this than. So I'm curious, the moves you made, we knew that you'd be good on road courses. We knew that there'd be different progression you'd make throughout the season. But knowing when and where to pack air on Taylor's, car, when to make those moves, when to time those runs, what are you doing behind the scenes that we're not seeing in terms of making yourself progress like that?
Yeah, it's watching a lot of races. Riley won the race last year doing the same exact thing, and also everybody at Chevrolet, Josh Wise and Scott Speed especially. I've sat with them in a room and watched races and just studied for countless hours, and I wouldn't know as much as I do today without them. I wouldn't be as good as I am today without them. I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. I really do owe a lot to Josh and Scott and everything that they've taught me. They study this stuff more than anybody. And I'm just very fortunate to be a part of Chevrolet, and I've never raced a stock car with another emblem on the hood, and that means a lot to me. So, yeah, it's often guys jump around and move manufacturers, and I couldn't do that at this point with how much Chevy has done for me and the people that they've provided for me to learn and grow as a driver.
All right, Jordan, go ahead.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Dale was just in here, and I asked him about you, and he said you have the potential to do incredible Hall of Fame worthy things. When you hear something like that, what do you feel?
Not only hear something like that, but have him say it is really, really special. And those words carry a lot of meaning. And I still have a long way to go before I get to that point, and a lot of work ahead of me, and a lot of bad days ahead of me. So, it's going to be an incredible journey. I'm so excited for the next 10, 15, 20 years, hopefully, in this world of NASCAR racing, and I've enjoyed my time so far, but I really do hope there's a long journey left ahead of me. I really am having a lot of fun, I show up to work every day, and I can tell myself I love my job and I love what I'm doing, and it's not very common in this world anymore. People can say that. So I'm very fortunate to do what I do and to have the opportunities that I have.
You have a series best 5 wins. You finished in the top 5, 8 straight races on ovals too. What else do you have to prove in the Xfinity series? You ready for Cup?
Phoenix, the championship would be awesome. For my team. My team deserves it, man. They've put in a lot of work, and we have worked our butts off to get to where we are right now, and have 6 wins on the 88 car and 5 wins being mine. So a title would be awesome, but if we don't end up winning the title come November, our season's not a failure. This has been an incredible season, but with that being said, I really do want to race for a championship and get these guys what they deserve.
All right. John, did you have a question? No. You're already good. Okay. Did you have a question? Okay.
Connor, talk us through the contact in front of you between the 17 and the 7, and was it Pocono deja vu from behind the steering wheel?
Yeah, it was. I was running third behind them, and these cars. Kyle doesn't race these cars every week, so when someone puts it on your door in a Cup car, the guy on the outside gets tight, and when you get someone to put their car on your door in the Xfinity car, the guy on the inside is suspect to spinning out, and when you don't race every week, you kind of just build habits, and Justin could have left him a little more room, and Kyle probably could have backed it up or drove it in deeper to get clear, but those moments happen, and I feel bad that it took Justin and Kyle out of the race. It would have been really cool to see Justin win 100 races with JRM. Obviously, he has the most wins in JRM history, I'm pretty sure, and I know it would have meant a lot to Dale and Mr. H and everybody at Junior Motorsports to be able to do that, but we won regardless, and it's really cool to get that 100 win for them.
Keselowski, Elliott, Dale Jr., Allgaier, they've all won, but you took home the 100th win as another addition to your season. What does that mean to you and for an organization as popular and well-known as Junior Motorsports?
It's incredible. Yeah, not a lot of words to describe the feeling. I've been a part of this team for less than a year, and I've got 6 wins with JRM in I think 24 races. So a quarter of the races I've run, I've won, which is a stat that is pretty hard to imagine. And if you told me that July last year, I would have called you crazy. So yeah, I don't really have words to describe how cool it is to win 100. The 100th race for JRM. I know it means a lot to Dale, Kelly, LW, Mr. H, everybody that works at the shop. This one's definitely special for them. I've been a part of the team for, like I said, just under a year, and even in the time that I've been with the team, I've learned to love the people, and it's just been an awesome journey.
And just be glad you won here at Indy, because if you were going to Iowa, you're going to have 7 spark plugs, is what Dale Jr. said.
I know. He told me that. He said I don't get eight spark plugs if we didn't win this week. So I'm glad we got it done.
Connor, Chris Doherty, Indianapolis Star. Obviously, a NASCAR championship is the one thing you're going to be focusing on, and you can't predict the future. But after that goal is reached, where do you see possibly your next goal coming up in your career? Could it possibly be here in the month of May?
I would love to race in the Indianapolis 500. I grew up watching that race on TV, and in my opinion, it's the biggest race in the world. And as a race car driver, you want to win those races. So, I would love to get the opportunity to do that. I don't know when the opportunity would come or how it would come or who I'd race with, but obviously with Kyle doing the double, it's possible. But there's a lot of implications. It's a very hard thing to pull off, but if I were to have a bucket list, it would certainly be on it.
All right, go ahead.
Connor Zilisch, this is Andrew Kim for Speedway Media. 8 years ago, William Byron, who drove for Junior Motorsports, became the youngest Xfinity winner here at Indy at 19 years, 7 months, and 22 days. Based on the records, you have also become the youngest Xfinity winner here at 19 years and 4 days. You talked about how significant it was winning here at Indy, and also talk about that, and also being the youngest winner here at the track.
Yeah, it's really cool. I feel like I've had a lot of people tell me, you're breaking this record, that record, and it's really cool, honestly. I appreciate, the fact that I'm able to do that. I'm young enough to do that. But my goals are much higher than, what I'm doing here on Saturdays. I want to be like, a Hall of Famer in the sport. I want to do great things. I want to leave the sport better than I found it. I still have a long journey ahead of me, but to be the youngest driver to kiss the bricks is, certainly a really cool feeling. But yeah, I have a lot of dreams and goals that I want to achieve, and these are only a fraction of them.
All right.
Connor, Tim Haley of Eat My Ink. Did you, wow, I just blanked out.
It's okay, we can come
No worries.
Scott Speed. It's great to hear his name come up again after a long time. Well, how did you get hooked up with Scott?
Scott helps all the Chevrolet development drivers and is a big part of that. And he'll tell you, but he enjoys helping people more than he enjoys the thrill of driving at his age. And for someone to be like that and to give up what they love to help others is really cool. And he's been a big part of my growth and journey and the driver and person I am today to this point. And I definitely owe him a lot.
All right. Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. All 6 of your Xfinity wins have come in your Xfinity debuts on the respective tracks. Do you think you have a special gift for being able to adapt quickly to changing circumstances like that, or is it more the work you're doing behind the scenes?
I think it's a mix of both. I don't want to discredit my work and the effort I put in before I go to the track every week, but I'll tell people all the time that some people have it and some people don't, and I'm very fortunate that I was born with whatever the gift is of being able to drive a race car fast. But with that said, I there's no driver that can. There's a lot of talented drivers in this series, right? And to set yourself apart, you have to do the work. And I show up to every track, and I know exactly where I'm going to lift. I know exactly where I'm going to brake, and you know, I make sure I know what I'm doing before I go to the racetrack. And you know, with simulators these days, when I show up to a track, I feel like I've already driven on it before. So yeah, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of tools around me and people around me that help me prepare for these moments.
All right, go ahead.
Nathan Brown, Indy Star. Connor, I wanted to follow up on something that Chris asked you a couple minutes ago on your goal or dreams or hopes of one day racing in the Indy 500. I know you've got a lot on your plate, potentially heading to the Cup Series as soon as next year and everything you want to accomplish there. Would you envision, you know, hoping to run in the 500 once you get your feet settled in Cup sometime down the road? Is that something you would love to do whenever an opportunity might come about? What are your thoughts on, you know, kind of balancing your hopes in Cup and something like that might come about with the Indy 500 ride?
Yeah, I definitely want to be settled here before I commit to doing something like that. That's a big time commitment, and I need to focus on what I'm doing here first. But you know, down the road, if I get settled in and you know, I'm doing well on you know, Sundays, hopefully one day, it's certainly something that I'd want to do. And you know, I don't want to wait. It's such a cool race, and even today, like just driving past every grandstand and imagining people in every seat is something that's pretty unreal. So I definitely want to be able to experience that, and the only time to do that is in May. So hopefully I'll get the chance to do that.
And I know that you went over to Europe to do some karting early on in your career. Was IndyCar or open wheel cars here in the U.S. ever really on your radar? Did you at some point kind of choose a path down stock car route, and that became your sole focus from a full-time racing perspective?
Yeah, I've talked about this quite a bit, but you know, my dream was always to race, as a kid, was always to race sports cars or F1 or IndyCar or something like that. I never thought I would race NASCAR. I never raced ovals growing up. I mean, I was watching it from the shadows. You know, I can't say I grew up going to NASCAR races. I grew up racing go-karts, and I still wear tapered suit. It's kind of in my DNA. So, yeah, I can't say that my dream was to race NASCAR, but now that I'm here, I'm loving it. And I really do think, you know, NASCAR is the biggest form of motorsports in America. And, you know, I want to be the best at the biggest and highest level. And to do that in America, you have to race in NASCAR. So, yeah, you know, growing up, I wanted to race F1, but nowadays it's really, really difficult to get to that level, and quickly realized it wasn't possible for me.
All right, Connor, congratulations again on the win
Thanks,
today.
everybody.